Hello everybody and welcome to some very exciting BIONICLE 2016 news. Namely, the leaking of a poster of BIONICLE 2016 that was first glimpsed in the Mask Maker contest video a few days ago. But we now have it in pretty clear, decently high quality. It's not like huge blown up high definition or anything, but many details are very discernible. And you can see that right now in the video. So, this poster has a number of interesting details, and I'm going to go ahead and get the elephant out of the room first before we move on to other stuff. Yes, that is the island of Mata Nui on the Mask of Control's forehead. Why? Nobody knows. And I've got a feeling this is going to be a point of contention amongst the community and TTV itself. And you can check out that discussion in TTV Podcast 165, which should hopefully be up on Vessel on the 19th of October, where we will talk about this in more detail. But, for now, we just kind of have to take it at face value. The island of Mata Nui is on the Mask of Control's forehead. There's a couple possible explanations for this, and a couple ramifications, which I'm sure you can probably guess for yourselves. A common thing I'm seeing floating around is that it is just placeholder, which I guess is possible. I don't personally put that much stake into the fact that it's placeholder for a few reasons, namely, this poster looks final. There are no confidential markings anywhere on it. I guess it's possible it could be prototype. I don't know, like how, necessarily. This looks final to me. Secondly, depending on when this poster was made in development of BIONICLE G2, the island of Okoto will have already been designed and fully sketched out. There would be no reason to use the island of Mata Nui on his forehead. Like, it's not like you cannot compare this to the initial leaks of BIONICLE 2015, when they used, like, the Mask of Life on the box art in the top right, because that was from an early stage in development. The sets were still going through concept. The same with the Mask of Creation, where it had that like prototype concept on the initial display leak, which managed to slip its way into the hero pack by accident. This just doesn't... Okay, I'll put it to you this way. If this does turn out to be prototype, which it could, possibly, and we later see a finalized version of this poster, or finalized Mask of Control imagery, and it has the island of Okoto, then fair enough. That will, answer this once and for all. But at this juncture, I do not understand. I cannot think of any reason why the island of Mata Nui would be used as a placeholder, given that the island of Okoto already has a design at this stage in BIONICLE's life when this poster would have been made, unless it's a mistake and it wasn't intentionally put on there, which seems a little hard for me to believe, but I guess it did happen with the hero pack and the prototype Mask of Creation, so fair enough. There's no point, really, in debating this or getting so hung up on this little detail. We just need to wait and see what the future may bring, and especially if the island is still on the forehead when we actually see other pictures of the Mask of Control. Because wouldn't that be an interesting wrinkle in things? Otherwise, you get to see a full blown up picture of Tahu's Unity mode, and he looks pretty fantastic, although, he's quite heavy on the gold, admittedly. Perhaps a little more than I would like under normal circumstances. You can see how Akira just kind of folds over him and attaches to his head, covering up the hair that everybody hates, which, by the way, still appears to be present, so, that's a little unfortunate, but what can you do? It still appears to be silver as well, if this is final. His swords use a gear function of some kind. His torso appears to be very detailed and very mechanical looking, and it looks pretty cool, gotta say. And it also solves the mystery of the skull villain armor that didn't really properly attach in the prelims. We now see how it's supposed to properly attach, and I like it. I think it looks really cool. So all in all, pretty cool poster, gotta say. I feel like everybody's going to fixate on the Mask of Control, rightfully so, considering that's a pretty big bombshell if it's actually true. And if it is finalized and it is supposed to be there, I cannot think of any possible reason why the island of Mata Nui would be on the Mask of Control's forehead. Like, even if you jump on the bandwagon of it's a G1 connection they're building, like, why in the story would the island of Motunui be on the Mask of Control's forehead? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. But for now, what are your thoughts on this Bionicle 2016 poster? And for that matter, what are your thoughts on the line as a whole, now that we've seen, you know, possibly, quote-unquote, more final versions of the Toa, even though it doesn't appear a whole heck of a lot's really changed. You know, leave your thoughts in the comments below or on the TTV Message Boards at board.ttvpodcast.com. And stay tuned for the latest and greatest Bionicle 2016 news. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.